This is the fourth and last video in 1-4, and we're going to learn about how to do this from a table. Alright, so let's just dive into example 4 here. It says, given the table of values for h of x, what is the average rate of change from x equals 6 to x equals 2? So notice here is the x row right here. So when x is equal to 6 right here, the value of y is actually 35. So my first ordered pair is actually 6, 35. And for my second one, it also wants to know where x is equal to 2. So looking on here, it looks like this is 2, where x is 2, and the output, or h of x, is equal to 3. So my second order pair is 2, 3. So here you can do rate of change the same way. Delta y over delta x, which is just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's solve. So we'll call this let's see. We'll call this y1, and we'll call this x1, and we'll call this x2, and this y2. So make sure you stay consistent. That's the one thing that I forgot to mention on the previous videos. It doesn't really matter which one you call x1, y1, and x2, y2, as long as they are both the same 2 or the same 1. Like, you would not want to say that this is x1 and this is y2. That's a no-no. You can't do that. You're going to get the wrong math. So let's just plug this in. So we'll do 3 minus 35, because that's what the equation calls for up here. And then 2 minus 6. In this one, I'm just going to plug straight into my calculator. So let me pull my calculator out, and we'll just use the n over d function. So we'll do 3, actually, I'm sorry, yeah, n over d, 3 minus 35 over 2 minus 6. Hit enter, and that gives us 8. So the rate of change is 8, or you can think of it as 8 over 1, with the rise being 8 and the run being 1. Alright, let's go on down here to example number 5. First set of word problems. I know y'all love word problems here. So it says, you are trying to decide which theater to go to for a Friday night movie. Habersham Hills charges $7 for the movie ticket and $5 per food item. So a little hint here, anytime you hear the word per, that is most likely going to be that number that you're going to put with the x. So let's set this up in a linear equation. So we'll say that y equals, so y being the total cost, I'll put dollars underneath it for you to see, y is equal to, so the cost per food item is going to be $5 per food item x. And then the initial cost to get in the movie theater is actually $7. So that's plus the initial cost of $7. So the way this reads is the total cost is equal to x food items that you buy. So if you buy 2 food items, that's 2 times 5, which is $10 plus 7, the $7 it would cost to get into the theater. If you were to buy 3 movie items, it'd be 3 times 5, which is $15 plus the $7 it costs to get into the theater. Alright, so that's for Habersham Hills. Let's see if we can figure out what our equation would look like for Regal. Okay, so let's look at our table. We need a starting point. So how would we know how much it costs to get into the movie theater? Well, think about it. The cost to get into the movie theater is how much it's going to cost with buying 0 food items, right? So look at this column right here, the number of food items with the ticket. So if you buy 0 food items, that costs y dollars. So that means the cost of a ticket for Regal is actually $8. So let's set up our equation. Y, which remember this is our dollars, is equal to, we don't know the slope yet, so we're just going to come over here and say plus 8, the cost to get into the building. So now let's figure out what the slope is. So any of these values are x's, right? Any of these are x's. And any of these are y's. And these are all, you can think of these all as ordered pairs. Okay? So really you could pick any 2 ordered pairs and plug into our slope formula. Okay, so I'll just pick the first two here, and I'll call this y2 and this y1 and this x2 and this x1. So we can do 12 minus 8 over 1 minus 0. And that will give us 4 over 1. So the slope is equal to 4. So that means this number that we plug in here is actually 4x. So here's the equation for Regal, and here's the equation for Habersham Hills. So now that we know that, let's go answer this next question. It says, which theater is cheaper if you want to see the movie and also get a drink and a popcorn? So if you get a drink and a popcorn, that's like saying that X is equal to 2, because each additional item costs $5 if you go to Habersham and $4 if you go to Regal. So let's plug in 2 for each of these equations. So we can say y is equal to 5 times 2 plus 7, and on this for Regal we can say y is equal to 4 times 2 plus 8. And we'll just do some math here. So 5 times 2 is 10. Bring down the 7. That gives us y is equal to 17. So it'll cost us $17 to go to Habersham Hills if we want to get a drink and popcorn. And if we go to Regal, it will cost us, let's see, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 8 is going to be 16. So it's actually cheaper to go to Regal, because it's $1 cheaper if you're only going to buy 1 drink and 1 popcorn. If you buy more items, it might be different. All right, go ahead and try those U-tries, and then I'll see you in the next lesson.